What is good, everybody? The Who Dat Nation. Guess what? It's your boy, Who Dat Davis, here for you. And as always, if you guys don't know, you will know that over here we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for tuning in for this edition of the B&G Breakdown Podcast. And I just messed up my intro because I was looking at my snapback and I was so messed. Ugh, I hate when things aren't aligned. You know what I'm saying? If you're OCD like me, you see your snapback is too far one way, too or other. It just messes you up. But let's do that again. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the B&G Breakdown Podcast. It is your boy, Who Dat Davis, here for you. And as always, if you don't know, you will know that over here we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. There we go. That's how we like to do it. All perfect and concise. And we have a lot to talk about, guys. A lot to talk about. But before we get into the breakdown of what we need to get into and all things Saints news and everything related to Saints news, make sure you guys hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button that's down below, and you hit that share button. And you share my platform around to all your fellow Saints fans or non-Saints fans. And let's just continue growing the community. We have been a little stale on content, but if you guys have checked out my community tabs or my latest live, you guys will know that things over here haven't been all that great. So my activity is going to be a little spotty every now and again. But when things like this come up, you know your boy's going to come live to talk all about it with you. Let you guys know where we're at and where it could potentially head in the future and as far as my opinions go. But if you guys are following me on Facebook, I recently received a restriction on my Facebook account for apparently I posted something as of 3 years ago that ended up hitting against terms of service. So the amount of content I can post there is restricted for a minimum of 30 days. I got like another 20, maybe a little under 20 days at this point. But yeah, if you guys don't see me live on Facebook for a while, that is why I blame Facebook or Meta in this case. But as soon as that restriction is lifted, we will be back streaming on both platforms instead of just here on YouTube. So guys, a lot of bad, but a little bit of good just came in. Let's get into the good right now. And as far as I'm concerned, let's get into what the latest news literally just dropped as of a few minutes ago. As the Saints head coaching position, you guys already know that Sean Payton stepped down from his head coaching duties for the New Orleans Saints after 16 long years. Over 15 years with the New Orleans Saints as the head coach. He's changed his franchise around for the better, right? So it's been a while. Some would say a long time coming that the Saints needed to address who their next head coach was going to be. Well, they interviewed a number of good people. Aaron Glenn, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, Brian Flores. They requested an interview with Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but that interview was never officially scheduled. They interviewed Dennis Allen, who was the odds-on favorite going into this offseason because of his continuity with the team and his familiarity with the system. They had done everything they could in terms of trying to get this right. They wanted to go the right way instead of going it the fast way. And what I mean by that is they took their time in evaluating who was going to be the best candidate to continue leading the New Orleans Saints, who aren't in a state of rebuild as it is more of a retooling. So here's what I am literally just told as of a few minutes ago. The New Orleans Saints are expected to hire defensive coordinator Dennis Allen to be the Saints' new head coach going into the 2022 season. So they have chosen Dennis Allen, and my initial response was, holy hell, they wasted Eric Bieniemy's time for nothing. Because if you guys don't know the circumstances around Eric Bieniemy, the Saints requested to interview Eric Bieniemy, and that happened just over the weekend. I believe it was yesterday that interview went down, and it took over 8 hours. It took 8 hours to interview Eric Bieniemy, and the fact that he didn't get the job with the Saints, it shows me that, oh my God, they wasted 8 hours of that man's life for nothing. But I'm actually, I'm I'm not surprised that they went with Dennis Allen. This is where I believe they were going to go, even though I wanted a more offensive-minded coach leading the New Orleans Saints, because with a team as desperate for offensive innovation as the New Orleans Saints are, with how abysmal their offensive production has been this year without Michael Thomas in the lineup and without Alvin Kamara, who we're going to be getting into in just a little bit here, over a stretch of 4 to 5 games, the New Orleans Saints needed someone badly, like offensive mindedly, to really breathe a new air of life into that side of the ball and that side of the team. I believe Eric Bieniemy, or maybe even Byron Leftwich, if he actually got scheduled for an interview, would have made a really good, offensive replacement for Sean Payton, because even though no one's going to be able to replicate the kind of success Sean Payton has had with this team and with this offense, it doesn't change the fact that you're better off getting an offensive-minded coach for your offense, rather than rolling the dice with someone who's more defensive-minded, unless that said defensive-minded coach is going to be calling plays only for the defense and some extra things on top of that as the head coach, and getting an offensive coordinator. Now, we don't know if he's going to be coaching both offense and defense, or play calling in terms of play calling, but for right now, Dennis Allen is our new head coach, and I'm fine with that, because he has a chance to really redeem himself, right? Because we all know how bad his time was with the previously named Oakland Raiders. They were named Oakland at the time, and now known as Las Vegas Raiders. He went 8-28 with his time with the Raiders. Absolutely one of the worst teams during his tenure there, before he came to the Saints as the new defensive coordinator, and where the defense actually struggled in his first 2 years, right? His first 2 years, and then the defense really took off after the 2017 draft, right? So, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm not technically mad at this, right? Because there's more to it than just Dennis Allen getting the nod as a head coach. It means a lot of the Saints coaching staff will be retained, and it's proven successful for the Saints since over the last 5 seasons, right? So you want to keep that together as much as possible, because this team, with a little reloading to the offense, can still make a good run in the upcoming later fall, later this year. And you don't want to blow up what doesn't need fixing. You know what I mean? So we will see what happens. But a lot of people on Saints Twitter right now are not overly happy, because they wanted a black head coach. And here's where my issue with this is. Here's where my issue with some of those takes that you guys are probably seeing on Twitter, if you have a Twitter. I don't necessarily care about representation. I would much like it. I would much support it, because if you guys have followed the Brian Flores lawsuit against the NFL and 3 specific teams, the main focus here in terms of that lawsuit is there's not enough black head coaches around the NFL, which is true. There's not. And there are plenty of qualified black coaches around the league, in a league that's dominant by black players and coaching combined. I believe it's over 70% black overall. So there's more qualified black coaches out there than just Mike Tomlin, who deserve their fair shake. And I honestly wholeheartedly agree with that. That's why I'm supporting Brian Flores and his lawsuit against the league, and change needs to happen. But with that being said, when it comes to the Saints, I want them to make the right choice rather than making the popular choice. If you guys have watched the recent moves made by the Houston Texans, the Texans just hired Lovie Smith as their next head coach. And they went away from one guy to go with Lovie Smith because they wanted to put themselves out of the line of fire, in my opinion. They wanted to put themselves out of the line of fire from hate, from feedback, from negativity feedback about not hiring a black head coach. That's what I believe. That's why they went with Lovie Smith, because Lovie Smith has not had a season, a winning record as a head coach in the league since 2012, when he went 10-6. That's Lovie Smith, by the way, including 5 years in college as a head coach, and he had no winning season there either. So there's nothing in Lovie Smith that would tell you that he is a prominent head coach that you can trust to lead your team to a winning season. He has not won since 2012. That's both NFL and collegiate careers. But the Texans went with a black head coach because they wanted the positive media feedback that would come from it. They went for representation without looking into the facts, the skills, the resumes, etc. Like, there are more qualified head coaches out there that are black that deserve an opportunity other than Lovie Smith. The Saints, even though they didn't hire a black head coach, I believe they made the right choice, even though it's not the popular choice. They're always going to do what's in the best interest of the team, rather than what's popular right now in the league, or what's trending in the league. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I commend the Saints for wanting to retain their current coaching staff. I commend them for wanting to give Dennis Allen a chance, because for the last 3 seasons, the last 2 especially, the Saints have had a top 5 defense under Dennis Allen. He's done a magnificent job as defensive coordinator. Now, that does not mean it'll translate to being a really good head coach. We'll have to see how that plays out. But promoting Dennis Allen to head coach, or to retain your current coaching staff, I can understand the move behind it. Familiarity is important. Continuity is important, because if it's not broken, why try to fix it, right? There's no need to blow everything up just because something is trending or something is popular, right? You don't want to be forced to making a move that would get looked at as a nod, right? You don't want to look at just skin color. I never want the Saints to look at just skin color, right? If they're qualified, I don't care what the skin color is. I really don't care. And that's how I feel about that. But I'm sure Eric Bieniemy and Brian Flores, those got prominent black head coaches, are going to get their fair shake. I want them to get their fair shake without a single doubt in my mind, because some of these other coaches out here in the league, yikes. Like Eric Bieniemy, he went to the Super Bowl, I believe, 2 out of his last 3 years. He went to an AFC Championship game 4 different times, I believe, at this point. I wouldn't say he's a main reason, but he's a big part of the reason why the Chiefs offense has had so much success this year in terms of making adjustments. Now, you can argue that, Andy Reid has something to do with that, but you have to credit Eric Bieniemy into that when you're talking about like offensive production. It ultimately goes up to your head coach, but offensive coordinators, they are unsung heroes in my honest opinion. Now, speaking of this coaching staff, with the coordinator spot now open for business, who are the Saints looking at to potentially replace Dennis Allen as defensive coordinator if he decides, all right, have a good one? Sorry, that was family. But who are the Saints going to be looking at to replace Dennis Allen as defensive coordinator, assuming Dennis Allen does not want to continue play calling for the defense, which, we never know. Well, let's go under the assumption that the defensive coordinator spot is now open. Officially, right? Officially speaking, because it technically is. Who would be qualified to be the new defensive coordinator? There are 2 names that come to mind. 2 names. One being Chris Richard, and the other one being Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen and Chris Richard. Ryan Nielsen first, because he's done a great job with that Saints defensive line. I mean, an absolutely great job, despite not there being a lot of talent there out in the interior outside of David Onyemata. The Saints have been the best run defense since 2018. And a lot of that is due to Ryan Nielsen coaching up that defensive line and teaching them to play the run first before you play the pass. Stop the run, get to have some fun. In the words of Cameron Jordan. Ryan Nielsen deserves his shot of calling the defense. I really do believe that. He's been with the Saints long enough to understand what they do defensively in terms of scheme, Well, he knows how to make the. I'm pretty sure he would know how to make the right plays, call the right plays. Excuse me. So I definitely would throw my hat in there for Ryan Nielsen. Another guy, like I just said, is Chris Richard. We can't ignore what Chris Richard has done to defenses almost everywhere he's went. If you guys don't know who Chris Richard is, he is responsible for the Legion of Boom for the Seattle Seahawks during his tenure there. That was a major reason why the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Well, it was because of the Legion of Boom and what they did on defense during that Super Bowl run. He had a brief time spent with the Cowboys. He reinvented that Cowboys defense. They're not, I wouldn't say they're elite, but they're not bad either. Chris Richard coached them up, I would say, pretty nicely. And now what he's done in year one with the Saints with Paulson Adebo, Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams, like those guys have played at a level that I didn't expect, especially Paulson Adebo coming into the year fresh off playing no football during this entire 2020 year. Throughout 2020, he did not play a single snap of football. And yet he comes in week one as a starting corner out opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. He plays all snaps. He played in all games and only had 7 penalties committed on him. Only throughout the entirety of the year. Only 7 in a multitude of snaps. That's actually very, very impressive. Now he can continue working with Paulson Adebo because there is a lot of stuff he needs to refine on, but that's actually a really big jump considering what Paulson Adebo was coming into as, and then Marshawn Lattimore, a guy that we've always loved, but he has a tendency of starting off slow and then getting heated up over time, right? That wasn't the case this year. It wasn't. Marshawn Lattimore started off hot. Yeah, he had some up and downs, but this was probably his most successful season in his career with the Saints so far. And I credit a lot of that to Chris Richard and his coaching methods. He was more sound. Marshawn Lattimore had the most forced incompletions. He set a new NFL record for incompletions against Terry McLaurin and the Washington football team, now dubbed as Washington Commanders. And he led the NFL in pass breakups and / interceptions. Marshawn Lattimore did. That's how good he was. He could have had up to 5 interceptions this year if not for his broken hand. Keep that in mind as well. He had 2, maybe even 3 dropped INTs because he was playing with a cast on his right hand due to a broken finger. We will just have to see what happens. But with Marcus Williams, Marcus Williams is due for a bag. All right. Let's call spade a spade. Marcus Williams is due for a bag. But I would expect Chris Richard to want to retain Marcus Williams by any means necessary. And I believe the same goes for Ryan Nielsen and Dennis Allen for that matter. Like those guys love Marcus Williams. They rave about Marcus Williams. And that tandem between he and Malcolm Jenkins, I believe, is one of the best safety duos in the NFC. Losing Marcus Williams would hurt. And with Dennis Allen now as a head coach, I do believe Marcus Williams is being made a priority outside of quarterback.
Yeah. I got to run the ball tonight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's grandma, y'all. But yeah, Marcus Williams with Malcolm Jenkins is the best safety duo in the NFC. With Dennis Allen now.
You going for that seat?
No.
Okay.
Grandma says hi, y'all. But with Dennis Allen now as the head coach, I do believe that Marcus Williams is the priority outside of quarterback. I really do. I do believe they're going to give him his just bag because he deserves it. Marcus Williams on that back end assures up so much with his range and his ball hawking skills. A lot of people just don't see the value in Marcus Williams, and it's mind-boggling to me. It's really mind-boggling. They can't get that 2017 divisional game out of their head. Yeah, he made one bad play. And sometimes he behind, but who isn't? Who isn't? He's more good than bad. He's a top 10 safety in the NFL. Top 10. He was number 8 this year. Number 8. He's close to top 5. He's close to top 5 than most people realize. I think if you were to give me a list right now, I would say Jesse Bates, who's now a free agent, and I believe he's going to get paid. Jesse Bates, Derwin James, Marcus Williams, I believe those are your top 3 right there. But obviously, Pro Football Focus and other football media disagrees with me. But top 10, definitely, you can argue top 5. They're going to give him his bag, and your defense will be so better with him than without him. So you can safely assume, until proven otherwise, that with Dennis Allen now here, you can expect Marcus Williams to get his bag, because Marcus Williams is going to want to play for Dennis Allen, and Dennis Allen is going to want to retain him by any means necessary. Now, the thing you guys are all here for, the thing that is in the title, Alvin Kamara. Look, before I get into what's going on with Kamara, let me play this, and then I'll go into it, because, man.
And it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday, so review the script. What do you say when the cop first pulls you over?
Why'd you pull me over?
And when he keeps asking questions?
Not discussing my day.
And they ask more questions?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
I invoke the 5th.
And then what do? You
shut the fuck up.
Shut the Fuck Up Friday. Never answer questions when the cops ask.
Have safe holidays.
Tip of the day.
So, if you guys don't know why I played that clip, Alvin Kamara, over the course of the weekend, had into a little, I wouldn't say little, it's a big deal. Alvin Kamara got arrested in Las Vegas for a battery charge that happened, I believe it was Saturday, and he got arrested yesterday, and he posted bail a couple hours later. Alvin Kamara posted bail for $5,000. He was supposed to have his initial court arraignment court today, but it got postponed to a month. So his new court date is now set for March 8th. Alvin Kamara, he should have kept his mouth shut. He should have kept his mouth shut, because in the report, when Las Vegas Police Department went to interview the victim, I'll just say, I'll quote around victim, because all this information is not finalized yet, right? We don't know everything. It's all coming in. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm gonna try and paraphrase as much as possible, but for right now, let's say that Las Vegas Police Department went to go interview the victim known as Darnell Greene. Darnell Greene ended up giving his recollection of what happened. And by his count, it was a little over the place. Darnell Greene, for you guys, because I actually have the reports here on my phone. On February 5th, this is right here. This is the actual police report. You guys can look it up on my community tab as well. So go look that up. But here's the actual police report. On February 5th, 2022, Detective A. Bone P was assigned a leading detective to investigate the battery of victim Darnell Greene. The case investigated under Las Vegas Police Department event number yada yada yada. A call for service was generated at Sunrise Hospital. Darnell Greene was a victim in an event and was receiving medical attention for his injuries. His injuries was one of the major ones being a damaged orbital bone, which means his eye is absolutely swollen. He's absolutely swollen in the eye, along with other injuries that were considered minor. So those were his injuries. The incident occurred at a Cromwell Casino at Dry's After Dark Club. Dry's is on the 35th. It's on 35th over there in Nevada. It was located 3595. There you go. At approximately 6:30. So the incident took place 6:30 on Saturday, and it was officially reported 12 hours later on that same Saturday. So this past Saturday, it happened at 6:30 in the morning, and it got reported officially 12 hours later at around 5. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. Greene states that he was leaving the club for the night, and he made his way to the elevators. There was a group of people awaiting as he started a conversation with one of them. As soon as the elevator opened, Greene and a large party he was speaking with began walking towards the elevator doors. Here's where Alvin Kamara comes into play. One male who could later be identified as Alvin Kamara put his hands on Greene's chest, stopping him from walking into the elevator. Greene pushed Kamara's hand off his chest, and Greene stated he was pushed hard, caused himself to stumble backwards. After Greene was pushed, he states he was being hit and kicked by multiple people and lost consciousness. He lost consciousness. The only one that Greene can remember is described as a black male in his 20s. He was approximately 5'10", muscular, and had either dreadlocks or braided hair. The suspect was wearing either a gray shirt or a gray sweater. Greene sustained an orbital fracture to his eye on his right eye and was told there's a chance he may need surgery. His eye was swollen so much that he can't open his right eye. Can't open it at all. Like, it's gone. Like, it's shut completely. The lower orbital bone is what helps support his eye stay in place. With a fracture of this sort, it can limit movement of the eye and cause double vision and other possible vision or balance. So let me go back a little bit here. When he was going towards the elevator, Alvin Kamara and his group of friends were going into the elevator, and Kamara stopped him by putting his hand out to his chest. Greene shoved Kamara's hand, and then that's when a fight allegedly took place. So Alvin Kamara was trying to stop him from getting into an elevator with his friends by his report, and he ended up getting into a fight with multiple people, which later would come out as 4, including Alvin Kamara. But in his initial report right here, Darnell Greene does not specify Alvin Kamara as being one of the 4, one of those group of people that was severely injuring him or jumping him, as it's so called. Darnell Greene reports that he was punched approximately 8 times and was stomped on the floor after he was knocked over 23 times. So he recalls being punched 8 times and stomped 23 times while on the ground, but does not give a description that states Alvin Kamara was directly involved. Just that a group of people, that could have been anybody. Now, you would think that Alvin Kamara would be scot-free, right? Because it doesn't list anywhere in this report that Alvin Kamara was directly involved or directly responsible for those injuries. But Alvin Kamara goes on to incriminate himself. Alvin Kamara incriminates himself by saying this, because Alvin Kamara, after the Pro Bowl was over, Las Vegas Police Department pulled him to the side and interviewed him outside of the Pro Bowl stadium. Kamara said, and this is his recollection of the event when interviewed by Las Vegas Police Department without his attorney. Keep that in mind. Here's what Alvin Kamara had to say. Kamara said he was with his girlfriend T, his assistant Reagan, and a couple of his friends, with being Darren Young and Percy Harris. While they were waiting for the elevator to open so they could leave the club, because they were leaving at that time. They were hanging out, talking. The elevator opened, and they all started to walk in. All of them, right? So it's all starting to make sense. It's all aligning. Here's where things get a little different. Kamara states that he remembers Greene calling one of his friends ugly, then later said, "I'll whoop your ass too." This was the quote by Kamara's recollection of what Greene said to him and his group of friends. He states that Greene allegedly said, "I'll whoop your ass too" to one of his friends. Kamara said he saw a fight break out. A fight broke out next to him. So he alleges that a fight broke out next to him. So we can assume that it wasn't with directly Kamara, but rather someone else in his group of friends. It could have been Darren Young or Percy Harris or even his assistant Reagan. It could have been any of those guys. He doesn't specifically state that it was Kamara himself. But here's the crazy part. After the fight broke out next to him and he saw Greene get punched, Kamara threw a couple of punches. He admits to throwing a couple of punches, thinking the guy was running away. Kamara doesn't remember if he punched Greene while he was on the ground, It was a congested area and hard to see what was going on. Kamara was presented with photos from that night. Kamara pointing out himself, Percy, and Darren to give us the idea of who everyone was in that moment in time. When asked why Kamara punched Greene, Kamara indicated he thought Greene was running away and had done something to his group, so he chased and punched Greene several times. Kamara admits himself that he thought that Greene was running away and had done something to his group, so he went and chased and punched Greene several times. There was a video surveillance that disputes this, showing that Greene was not indeed running away, but had in fact just been punched by Kamara's associates. That Kamara immediately attacked him. So Alvin Kamara incriminates himself in this moment by admitting to the fact that he not only punched him several times, but went chasing after the guy that after alleging that he was running away, and punched him several times, which coincides with the fact that Greene states that he was punched 8 times. Punched 8 times. He doesn't know if he was on the ground at that point, but he admits that he punched him several times. Dog, there is a reason why you should not talk to any law enforcement without your attorney. You have your Miranda rights for a reason. You plead the fifth. You had an out. You had an out right there in your hands. Darnell Greene essentially just gave you the green card. He could not recall you, Alvin Kamara, specifically stated that you punched him. He said just a group of people. There was no way. Kamara had an out right there. If only he just shut his mouth and let his attorney do the speaking for him. But he incriminated himself anyway. He snitched on himself. Well, I can respect the honesty. I can respect the honesty as a guy who advocates for honesty. I do. But why would you put yourself in that position to begin with? And now he's on a charge for battery. Let's say, for sake of argument, guys, that he was right and he was running away. Why would you go after him and punch him several times? Why would you do that? Because your battery, the battery charge itself, I don't know much about law, okay? But I looked up a little bit about battery and basically talked to many people on Twitter, some who are more knowledgeable about the law side of things than myself. In battery, it would have to be some manner of self-defense. You running after a guy that you said was running away and punching him several times is not self-defense. So what does this mean for Alvin Kamara if he's convicted? Well, let's look at the football side of things for a minute. Alvin Kamara is most likely I wouldn't even say most definitely at this point, is going to face a minimum 6-game suspension. Minimum 6 games. So, excuse me, had hiccups. A minimum 6-game suspension. And outside of that, he could be facing 1 to 15 years in jail. He could be facing jail time of 1 to 15 years because he decided that running hands with somebody in Las Vegas as he was leaving was worth it. Like, you were leaving. You were already going to be out of the building. Why would you put yourself in that situation? At this point, being suspended 6 games with no jail time would be considered a win for Alvin Kamara. A win. Kamara, you got to do better. You got to do better. Now he's facing potential jail time. Assuming things don't get settled up before, by the time March 8th comes around. That's why I'm replaying this.
And it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday, so review the script. What do you say when the cop first pulls you over?
Why'd you pull me over?
And when he keeps asking questions?
Not discussing my day.
And they ask more questions?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
I invoke the fifth.
And then what do?
You shut the fuck up.
Shut the Fuck Up Friday. Never answer questions when the cops
Have
ask.
safe holidays.
Tip of the day.
This is why so many people insist that you do not go to Las Vegas. Shannon Sharp, myself sometimes, because Las Vegas, as of lately, seems to be a place where careers in the NFL get sniped. Las Vegas is the ops for NFL players' careers, from Damon Arnett to Henry Ruggs, and now the latest with Alvin Kamara. Damon Arnett's career hasn't been the same since his time in Las Vegas. He's a character himself. But Henry Ruggs facing prison time, and now Alvin Kamara's facing potential jail time with the 6-game suspension. Look, guys, you have to be smarter. If you guys have something going for you, if you're making generational wealth, you don't want to put that in jeopardy or put your family or your loved one, like his girlfriend T. You don't want to put all that in jeopardy just because you wanted to entertain someone wanting to run hands. It's not worth it. Why would you want to put all that up in potential smoke just because you wanted to run smoke with someone who wanted to give you the smoke? If he had just shut up and just let his attorney do the speaking, there was an outing. That was an out for him. Come on, man. Y'all got to do better. And now, what does this mean for the New Orleans Saints? Well, if you guys aren't aware, or you guys just seem to forget about it, I don't know. The New Orleans Saints offense this past 2021 season, was absolutely horrible. And yeah, they had several quarterback changes because of the injury to Jameis. I understand that. But in games without Alvin Kamara, the Saints had not scored a single touchdown. Not a single touchdown in the games where Alvin Kamara has been out due to injury. He is their best player on offense. Their best player. Now imagine that being without Kamara the first 6 games. If this schedule is not favorable for those first 6 games, and they get behind the 8 ball really quickly, you might as well go ahead and just, pray for 2023 to be the real rebound year for the Saints. Just saying. I'm just saying. But right now, the Saints offense isn't looking too hot. Now, there's still plenty of time for the Saints to get the offense fixed up right between now and September, between offseason and the draft, and Dennis Allen cooking up the right type of offensive coaching scheme, potentially hiring a new offensive coordinator. We just don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. But you're going to need to load up a lot of offensive talent. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good for Alvin Kamara. I wouldn't say his career is done. I'm not going to go that far and say Alvin Kamara's career in the NFL is over, because we've seen worse characters get plenty of opportunities in the NFL. Plenty of opportunities. Tyreek Hill, Damon Arnett still, Josh Gordon, DK Metcalf, these guys that have shady backgrounds off the field, they still get plenty of opportunities in the league. Alvin Kamara is going to be no exception, especially considering this is his first major offense. His first major offense. So he's still going to be with the Saints, I believe. There's no way they're going to move away from Alvin Kamara. I truly believe that. There's no way they will. But those first 6 games are definitely going to hurt. And it's all because he decided that running hands with some no-name was more important than the generational wealth, and his career as an NFL football player was not as important in that moment. It didn't matter in that moment to him. Now, I get that we're people. I do get that we're people sometimes. Our emotions get the best of us at some point. It is what it is. Those things happen. I hope he learns from this. I want Alvin Kamara to learn from this experience. I really do. Now, let's go ahead and read some of these comments. I'm going to scroll up here, read some of these comments. Thank you guys so much for filing in, for tuning in. You guys are the bomb. All right, they are the bomb. Let's go ahead and scroll up a little bit more. We got plenty of comments here. I don't want to scroll up too far. We'll start here With Stripling Jr. was going on, my man Stripling, he says we'll be back on the market for a new head coach within the next 5 years. Most likely, probably. See, there's another underlying part to this Dennis Allen hire that I didn't initially say before. Sean Payton didn't necessarily say he was retiring from coaching. He was just stepping down. And a lot of coaches in the NFL step away for about a year to decompress and reassert and just relax, get their minds right. Sean Payton didn't rule out coaching in 2023. All right, he didn't. So this move with Dennis Allen, it could potentially mean that they're banking on Sean Payton returning to the Saints to coach for them again. We just don't know yet. Now, that's me just being a wishful thinker. All right, so I might be wishful thinking, but it's a possibility that I can't rule out until absolutely it's ruled out. You know, when Sean Payton himself says that he's not done coaching, I think this move by Dennis Allen could be looked at as, hey, hold it down for a year, and we'll see how Sean Payton feels in the next off season. If he's back, then we'll put you back in your defensive coordinator spot if you still want it. That's how it can be looked at. Will it be look like will it? I doubt it. I doubt it. Because while I wouldn't rule out that possibility, I think Sean Payton is not going to be coaching for the Saints anymore. That's just how I feel. I think he's looking at other avenues, maybe looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Don't know yet. Could be looking at a gig in, sports media. Don't know yet. I hear he's garnered some interest there, but he hasn't really looked into it. We just don't know. So right now, I think this could be looked at as a, hey, just hold it down for a year and see what happens type of move with Dennis Allen, along with the other factors I said earlier when it comes to keeping your current staff, because the current staff hasn't worked out well. Justin, it sure ain't. The bad news just keeps coming for Saints. Yeah, I don't get it. It's always something with these Saints, man. Every offseason, it's wild. It's a wild time for being a Saints fan. You have to have a lot of emotional and mental fortitude to put up with this team. DA was always the front runner for head coach. If y'all didn't expect that, I don't know what to tell you. Absolutely. I agree with that. Nor is he a leader of men. Word is he lost a whole locker room when he was with the Raiders. That is also true. That's also true. During that 8-28 run, he lost the locker room. It showed on the field and it showed off the field. But this is a redemption. Everybody in the Saints locker room, from players to coaches staff, they love Dennis Allen. They rave about him. They rave so much about Dennis Allen. So he has the support of the locker room. So let's hope this isn't a repeat. I think I would like to think that he's learned from his experience as a head coach with the Raiders. I would like to think that he's learned. Let's see what DA does now. First coaching job with the Raiders, had Terrell Pryor and a garbage ass team. You can argue that too. Yeah, front runner is still not a good decision. Well, we'll just have to see. I'm not entirely sold on defensive minded coaches being head coach, but we'll just have to see. We just don't know. I'm going into this season with low expectations. Well, next season, I should say, since we're still in 2021. I'm going into next season with low expectations. You keep your expectations low and you wait to see how the first couple of games play out under Dennis Allen and how the draft goes, how he handles OTAs, the draft, training camp. We'll see how he's what he's about going forward. But it's still too early to make any type of assumption on how his tenure is going to go. But we only have the last time he was head coach to go off of. We'll just have to wait. But I'm keeping my expectations low just to be on the safe side, because you just never know. You just never know. And I'd rather not invest too much until I know what I'm going to be getting back. Somebody about to get hit with a suit. Yeah, Kamara. Yeah. All because he wanted to be stupid. All because he wanted to be stupid, man. We're in rebuild. That hasty decision will keep us there. I don't agree with that. Look, these guys on the Saints, They play hard for Dennis Allen. They play hard for this coaching staff. They believe in this coaching staff. When you have as much success as the Saints have had over the last 5 years, with the amount of wins they've had, with a lot of the culture they've built up, I don't think they're in rebuild. I think the offense just needs some rebuild, right? They still have Reezy, right? They still have Reezy as a special teams coordinator. They still have a top 10 defense. They're going to be losing a couple of depth pieces, but they still have the core of their defense in terms of the starters coming back next year. That includes Malcolm Jenkins in their secondary. If they extend Marcus Williams to a long-term deal, then their defense is going to be fine. They got leaders at every level. So you got your special teams looking solid. You got your defense coming back solid. You just have to retool your offense and get some weapons. All they need is weapons on offense, and they're a contender. I wholeheartedly believe that, and it starts with the quarterback. I know. Will they get a young quarterback in the draft? No idea. It's possible. I wouldn't mind either Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, whoever falls to them at 18, when they decide to go that route, and use their later round picks, their second and third, fourth, and load up on wide receivers, maybe a tight end if they're not comfortable with what they got in the tight end room, but one defensive tackle. I would want them to get a defensive lineman, either Devontae Wyatt or Jordan Davis, who are both from Georgia. I would want one of those two, because what the Saints lost in that interior with the departure of Sheldon Rankins is a sturdy pass rush, combining Onyemata and Sheldon Rankins, and I would say the stunt game, the stunts in the middle. Sheldon Rankins was great doing the stunts for the New Orleans Saints alongside David Onyemata. That helps out the pass rush so much with several one-on-ones on the outsides, because their interiors have to command so much. They lost that with Sheldon Rankins, and when Onyemata was suspended for 6 games, like double teams went towards the outsides, and that's why they couldn't get any pass rush and couldn't muster any sacks before Onyemata got back. So I definitely want them to load up on at least one of those two studs in the interior. Right? You have to get somebody, because you can't rely on unproven, undrafted talent anymore alongside Devin Onyemata. The talent gap is too wide. It's way too wide between the next best guy, which is Shai Tuttle, who is a restricted free agent now. You have to address that position before going into next year. You have to, whether it be in the draft, like I said, or even just in free agency. Whether you trade somebody or you find somebody, like I said, in free agency, either way, you have to address it. If you don't address it, you're in trouble. Because you need that area for the defense to show up pretty consistently. If you're going to have, a new look on offense that needs time to gel. I just had a feeling Saints would go with Dennis Allen, so they didn't have to blow the team up. And I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the safe move. It is what it is. There's more to it than just, Dennis Allen getting the nod as the head coach. Like I said earlier, it keeps the current Saints staff, retained, right? And there's nothing wrong with the current Saints staff. No, nothing wrong with it at all. It's just a couple of pieces moving in different spots, but the nucleus of the Saints coaching staff is still going to be there. And I believe that's what's most important to Mickey Loomis. You don't want to blow up what doesn't need blowing up. That's what I believe. Not rebuild. You don't rebuild with core players intact. Exactly. I honestly wish Mickey stepped down as well. All that wheeling and dealing with contracts is the reason why we have such a hard time holding on to great players. Well, I don't know about that. The Saints have been in cap hell for the longest time now, but that's never stopped them from, signing players or getting new players. That's never stopped them. And they've always hit well on a draft since 2017. They've hit fairly well. Like 2017 was the biggest hit ever, and I believe in franchise history. 2018 had some pretty okay guys. 2019 was okay. I think the weakest draft class for the Saints since 2017 is the 2020 class. That was their weakest. That's mainly, and that I believe has something to do in part with how COVID-19 just took over the world at that point in time. But that's the weakest draft class. Other than that, they've had hits every now and again, especially this past season with Paulson Adebo and Pete Werner. Like those are two hits to your defense. Peyton Turner, we'll have to see how he develops, but from the games he was there, he looked pretty all right. Let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit more. I live in North Las Vegas, Nevada. I wish I would have been in Kamara's sight. I would have tried stopping a fight. I'm surprised no one tried stopping him at all. Not his in his group of friends. No one tried stopping Kamara. Not his girlfriend. Not his assistant. I'm mostly surprised that his assistant didn't try stopping him from throwing hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised at that. But no one tried stopping Kamara, and that's the crazy part. Just wish Sean Payton would have stayed. Hey, we all wanted Sean Payton to stay. I love Sean Payton. I hoped he would have stayed. I hope the rumors of him potentially stepping down were just another year of hogwash. It's not going to be easy to replace Sean Payton. Dennis Allen's going to have to beat Dennis Allen. He can't be Sean Payton. Nobody can be Sean. Has to be Dennis Allen. He has to coach this team his way. He has to coach it his way. If not, I want Flores or EP for the head coaching job. I don't know about Flores because he's more defensive minded, just like Dennis Allen. I would know, even though I think Allen is a better defensive coach than Flores at this point. But Eric Bieniemy, I wouldn't have minded either. That's a front runner for me. I would have loved to see it. Let's see. Let's go around a little bit more. Scroll down a couple ways here. The detective told AK, you know fucked up, right? Yeah, most definitely. He should have kept that mouth shut. Let's go down a little bit more. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button, please. I would appreciate it. Well, if AK did the crime, he should be liable. So it is what it is. He'll get fined, get suspended, and move on. I hope that's the case because that would be a win in AK's book. If he can avoid jail time and just be on probation, look, I'm fine with that. I will be more than fine with that, so long as he's not cut from the team or facing jail time. We'll know more as his court date comes around during the month of March. I hope AK gets past all this. I think he will. I think it's a great learning experience for AK because AK is a guy that's normally not bothered at all. He's usually never bothered. So with AK, being who he is, it would have to taken a lot for someone to get under AK's skin. Unless he has something to drink during that time, I'm not sure. But under the assumption that he wasn't, because there was the report of him being under any alcohol substances, he's usually not a guy that's bothered by mostly anything. So Darnell Greene must have seriously have done something to get under AK's skin at that point. I feel like there's more to it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, don't take everything I say as final. We're still waiting for more information to come out as his court date draws closer. He should have been smarter. If he told the truth, so be it. I respect it. Absolutely. I was guessing 6 games also earlier. Absolutely. You get fined, suspended. I hope so, because you just never know. Because Henry Ruggs was never a guy that never got in trouble with the law. Now look at him. Now circumstances are different because he ended up killing somebody. But if he was directly responsible for an orbital bone injury to Darnell Greene, which is pretty major, that's a felony. And if he's convicted, he's facing anywhere between 1 to 15 years in jail. Let's hope both parties can come to a settlement and he can avoid jail time with a probation. Green smiling at the cash. Man, that's crazy. That's the crazy part about it. People will smile and do anything to get money off of celebrities. Like, that's how bad it is. Yep, I heard post for 4 years, or up to 4 years, hopefully, so he won't get any jail time. Man, we didn't need any more bad news. I didn't want to bring in more bad news either. I really didn't. I really, really didn't. I didn't want to. I didn't want to come here and say that, AK was being arrested and he has to face potential jail time. I didn't want that. Nobody wanted that. It's crazy. Las Vegas been insane lately. For some years, got a lot of family there. That city is bad streetwise. I agree with that statement. I don't know much about Las Vegas, Nevada, personally, because I've never been there. I know I have a friend that stays close to there in Utah, but yikes. I hope to never go to Las Vegas and get under those circumstances. It seems like you can get in trouble there way too easily. There's too many temptations. Let's scroll down a little bit more here, and then I'll put the link in the comments for people to chime in about Dennis Allen and AK. I'll read a couple more comments here. For an assault, AK will be fine. He just whoops some ass. He'll play, but his career is not in jeopardy. I'm just saying. I definitely can see where you're coming from. I hope you're right. Maybe I am just over-exaggerating. I just want him to remain on the team. If he remains on the team, he can avoid jail time, I'm fine. That's all I care about at the end of the day. Let's go ahead and read down a little bit more. Hoodie, my man Hoodie Jew, what's good, dog? Good to see you here. I am so glad to see you here, my dog. Guys, if you guys don't know who Hoodie Jube is, this guy is awesome. He gives back to his community. If you guys don't follow Hoodie Jube on his podcast, go follow him right now. Look, search up this name right here. And go subscribe to his YouTube channel. The guy's awesome. We're going to be doing a watch party together between me, Hoodie Jube, Smokers YT, and a couple others for a watch party for draft night. So nights 1, 2, and 3, we are all going to be getting together to watch the NFL draft and going to bring our live reactions. Details are still coming on which channel it's going to be on, or if we're going to break it up day by day in terms of respective channels. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's going to be a fun time. Hoodie Jew was the one that suggested it, so please go give the man his likes, his dues, his respect, his follows. Because Hoodie Jube is a guy who will give you Saints tickets. He does giveaways for Saints fans. If you guys have I'm bleeding. I'm kidding. I don't know what that was, but that hurt. But yeah, the Saints are. I think I'm fine. I don't see blood anywhere. But what was that, man? Ow! I rubbed my foot up against something. I don't think I'm bleeding anywhere. But Hoodie Jube does giveaways for Saints tickets to home games or away games. If you guys want to ever be a part of that, go check out Hoodie Jube. On to more comments. Man, my foot hurt after that. It's always fights on the Las Vegas Strip in downtown Las Vegas. Grown adults don't know how to behave. It's crazy. No, he's not. The AK judge is a misdemeanor. No, it's a felony. It's a felony. I looked it up. It's a battery charge, which is the felony in under Nevada law. That really hurt, bro. I don't know what that was. Yep. The truth lost a nephew to gang violence, and another to him and his friends pulling a home robbery gone wrong up there. My condolences, my brother. Condolences. What about the offense? We are still in the Stone Age with Pete. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And my foot still hurts like a motherfucker. Slim South 504. What's going on, brother? Who that Aaron family now DA head coach with the Saints sign a quarterback or draft a quarterback? No idea. I still want the Saints to sign Jameis Winston. I really do. I want the Saints to sign Jameis Winston because he deserves another opportunity with the team. I don't think I'm bleeding anywhere. I felt that in there plenty of times, and no speckles of blood come out. So your boy's okay. Going to be in pain for a couple minutes, but should be all right. But I want Jameis back with the team first and foremost. If they can't get Jameis, then I wouldn't mind them going in the direction of another quarterback. Wouldn't mind it. What the quarterback situation is going to look like going forward, hard to say. But if they go with Jameis, then we're going to be solid for the most part. You just have to put weapons around him. Now, I will put this link down in the comments and let you guys call in with your thoughts, your opinions about Alvin Kamara or as a new head coach. This is an unfiltered chat. So if you guys ever want to just say anything, I don't care if you use profanity or not, just this is a place where you can come in and feel free to talk about anything. So call in, get your thoughts, get your opinions out there. Let's have a little discussion. I'll take about two callers, maybe 3 if we get enough. And then we're going to call it a day. And as always, make sure you guys check out the community tab because I will post information, updates, etc. mainly on there. My Facebook second and my Instagram third. So, all right, come on in. Let's see who we got. Larry F. Dickerson Sr. What's going on, fam? Who that to you? Eric B. was my choice. I think Eric B. was a lot of people's choices because of his offensive mind, his offensive genius, and his time with Tampa. We got our first caller, the OG, the triple OG, my man, Jerry Poor. What's good, dude?
It's good, Aaron. What's happening with you, man?
Look, another day, another dollar. Ain't nothing changed except this weather and the same. These things giving us goddamn aneurysms.
giving us some headaches, man. I'm telling you.
I don't like it either, man. So what you got? What you got?
But it is what it is, bro. We just gotta flow with it.
All right. Before we get you on here, I got one more. We've got my boy Justin Wallace. We're gonna have a little 3-way discussion here. What's going on, Justin? Look, another day, another dollar,
up,
man.
Justin?
Like I said, and nothing changed except the weather. I'm gonna talk to you both at the same time because why not? I've never done a 3-way in a while. So we're gonna start with Jerry first, man. Jerry, what you got to say about all things going on with the Saints lately?
Well, I guess we already heard that. Now I'm looking at some of the news channels and just got to looking at some stuff, and they saying that Dennis Allen is our new coach. So I like the hire. I like it. I don't know if I don't know if Saints fans like it or Saints fans don't like it. That's our guy.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Now, what I'm liking with this one, because like I said earlier, I like the signing with Dennis Allen because not only does it more so guarantees that Marcus Williams is going to get paid.
That's right, Rose City.
Because look, Dennis Allen has not stopped raving about Marcus Williams since he's coming into the building with him. Marcus Williams serves up so much on the back end with his range and his ball hawking skills. So for Marcus Williams to get the bag and remain a Saint, I'm all for that. Your defense will be top 5 without a doubt with him back there with Malcolm Jenkins. You got anything to say about AK?
Oh man! After I heard what just happened, I was really not happy about it. I was really not happy about it because and yes, I did not watch the Pro Bowl on Sunday because it ain't nothing but a popularity contest. Just to let y'all know, it ain't the same like it used to be back then. But after what I heard about Kamara, yeah, boy,
Play stupid games, win stupid
I'm lost for
prizes.
words, bruh.
I think
I'm
many
just
of us
lost
are.
for words. Definitely.
And I think he would have been fine if he just kept his mouth shut and wait for his attorney like a regular logical person would.
Cause over there in Vegas, they don't play around, bruh. They don't.
He played with fire, and he got burned.
He did something.
All right, my man, Justin, you've been waiting patiently. What's your thoughts on all this Saints news that's been popping off lately?
Bad on bad. I don't like it. I wanted Eric Bieniemy to get it, man. I don't feel like Dennis Allen is. I don't feel like he's suitable to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Now, he's a defensive coordinator. He should stay in that position. Let him do his thing with his defensive players. Now, the enemy has been calling plays for the Chiefs, and look at the trajectory of the Chiefs since 2017, since Patrick Mahomes came in the league. They're in the Super Bowl last 2 to 4 years. AFC Championship last 2 to 4 years. They're always in a running. I just think that hopefully Sean Payne come back, but he probably won't. I just think that I think that we should have mixed it up and brought him in. Why would you interview this man for 8 hours if you weren't gonna get him the job?
That's the most mind-boggling thing to me, man.
I
They
don't
wasted 8 hours of that man's life for nothing.
8 hours.
I would have been pissed if 8 hours. 1 hour, 1 hour's pushed it. 8 hours?
Like that's a whole work
Hell,
shift.
I'll take a less than an hour. Shoot, 8 hours, man.
That sounds like an interrogation. That sounds like what.
That's a whole work shift, my dude.
Justin sound like something, man.
That sounds like what AK should have been through with his pending charges. He should have been in
Yeah.
investigation for
Yeah.
8 hours. And then with the AK thing, man, he should have kept his mouth shut. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like
Exactly.
if he did it, like I said in the chat, if he did the crime, if he would have kept his mouth shut, that means he would have been lying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not all for snitching on yourself or whatever, or you have your day in court. But if he did it, then so be it. It is what it is. I don't feel, but at the same time, it's just an assault charge. He's rich. He's beloved by the Saints. He's a good guy. The Saints is not going to cut him over this. It was probably a misunderstanding, and he let his probably anger get the best of him. I don't know if alcohol was involved. I don't think that is cuttable, like being cut for any team in this type of situation, regardless if it's a felony or not, because of the injuries due to the guy. But like I said, like you said, it was more than one person that was laying hands on this guy. So it's more that to be discussed and more to be revealed once the case goes further on. So I don't believe that this even put a blemish on AK. I believe that he's going to probably get a fine, probably get suspended, and he's going to move on because he's a good guy. And the Who Dat Nation love AK, and the Saints organization loves AK. I mean, I don't see. Only thing I just see, this is a setback. So he knows in the future to get smarter. Like whatever happened, I don't know what happened. Who wasn't there? Nobody on this podcast was there. So just move forward and be smarter when you're moving. You know that people are going to try to tempt you. You know that people are going to try to set you up. You're a celebrity, XYZ, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to move smarter. That's easier said than done because we're not in them shoes. But I just feel like this is a learning experience for him. He's a young guy. He's a good guy. We love him. The Saints love him. The world love him. Everybody, even non-Saints fans like AK. So I think that popular opinion and his track record is going to prevail over this. I feel like he's going to pay a fine, maybe have to go through a civil lawsuit, and he'll be okay. He's probably going to lose some money, probably lose a couple games, but I feel like he's going to be okay, and maybe the Saints probably going to be in the same position they were in last year, as far as like win-wise. With all this shakeup going on, and we losing Drew Brees and Sean Payton in consecutive years, I feel like that's going to be a major hit. But with how great our defense is, how great our fan base is, I think we're going to be right there. We're going to be right on the cusp of the playoffs, like this year. Whatever last year, you can say last year, but I feel like we're going to be in that same position this year.
Okay, so you don't think we in Who Dat Nation should prepare for worst case scenario of him being convicted and facing some jail time, even if it's just 1 year?
No, I don't think.
Nah.
I don't think he's going to face jail time.
Yeah.
Maybe non.
Your audio cut out. Your audio cut out. Your
Yeah,
audio cut out.
But I'm gonna pick up what Justin just said.
Hold on, Jerry. He's a fucking Justin. Your audio cut out.
Yeah.
Your audio cut out.
Your audio cut out, Justin.
Justin. Hi, Justin.
Hello?
Wait. Can he even see us?
Yeah, we see him, but his audio was out.
Justin, your audio.
Hello?
Hey, dog.
Yeah, his audio is out, man.
Your audio.
Check your sound, Justin.
I don't think he can see his dog.
He still run.
He's still talking.
I know he's speaking facts, but
you don't know what you're saying, dog. You're cut out. Hey, yo, this is wild. Your audio. Can someone let Justin know in the chat that his audio cut out? Can someone do that? Because I don't think he can see us.
Man, we just he speak
audio,
facts,
your audio, your mic, your audio,
is cut out.
Your audio is cut.
Check the sound.
Hold on. Is there something?
Justin, you still there?
Hold on. Is there something I can show on camera here? Okay. He's going to try and come back.
Okay.
I think he understands now. Here he is.
I mean, I know Justin was speaking facts, man, but his audio was cut out. Now I
had got a call. Somebody was calling me.
Oh, so that's why.
That's why.
My bad.
Hey, dude, it happens sometimes, bro.
I sit here talking and I'm like, what? Hello.
Hey, yo, that's wild,
yeah,
bro.
my screen froze, man.
Hey, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It is what it is. It happens.
Let me finish up what I was saying. What I was saying was Lil Uzi Vert, the known rapper, popular rapper, got in I won't even say similar, he got in a worse charge. He got in a domestic dispute with the ex-girlfriend with a gun involved. And he pled. And all he got was probation, and he got to do a couple of classes, anger management classes, and probably another class. And he's fine. He's going to get 3 years probation. So I feel like with Axe record, the love that the Saints, the love that the Who Dat Nation, the love that the NFL has for AK as a running back, I think that he will be fine. With public, what I mean is with public opinion means a lot in these type of cases. When it comes to celebrity, I think that he will be fine. I believe there's going to be a minor setback to a major, get back. So all he got to do in the future is just be smart. He's young. He's in his 20s. He's a young guy. I'm 35. So I've been there, done that. And I'm not no Alvin Kamara. I've been there, I've done that. I made my mistakes, and you move on. You move on, and you become smarter in your moves. Like I said, I don't know if alcohol was involved. I want to assume that it was that to get him out of his character where he would risk something like this. I want to assume that alcohol was involved. He's going partying in Vegas. Maybe it wasn't, but okay, let's say it wasn't. Let's just say it was just word of mouth, or it would just say just a guy, a heat of moment, just talking to him. Regardless of the fact, I feel like it's just going to be just a lesson learned. Like, he's not going to be cut. The Saints ain't cutting that AK. He's the best player we got.
No, that would be stupid if they do that, man.
And let me make another point. Look what the NFL is doing with AB. What they've been doing with AB for the last couple of years. They even talking about signing him again. And with that nut case. So Alvin Kamara is not even on that level. He's a good guy. He's beloved by the NFL and the Who Dat Nation. So I think this is a minor setback. He got in a fight. Okay, maybe it's a felonious charge, but in reality, he got in a fight. All right, he shouldn't have did that. He's a celebrity. All right, he admitted to it, so to speak, because you said he told on himself, which I'm not mad at, because if you did it, then fess up to it. I respect him more for that than not saying nothing and then trying to fight it and looking like O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying? So I respect it more. So I think he's gonna be all right, man. AK ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not going nowhere.
All right, I can respect that.
I agree with you.
OG, you got any final thoughts for us before I let you go?
Not a whole lot. I mean, Justin just said all what he had to say, and I had my last say. So the only thing I got, Aaron, is let's see how this thing ride out, bruh.
Hey, Jerry. Hey,
yeah.
Man, can you repeat what you said? Because I got logged off kind of. Can you just recap what you said? Because I missed it.
No, it was me and Aaron was saying that you was speaking facts, but your audio was cut out. Yeah, and I know, and I understand why you had a call that came in. That's why we I hear you, but that's all. But it's all good, bruh. It's all good. But only thing I got, like I say, fellas, um, let's see where this thing go with with Dennis Allen as our new
I don't
coach.
like it. I don't like it.
Whoever the whoever the next DC is for this team, I hope it's Chris Richard because he's like a big addition to that defense when it was unstoppable. So
Knowing see how they
let's
did
let's
this,
see let's see how this ride out, bruh.
how they did this head coaching decision. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get it. Because
Yeah.
like wow, man,
Well,
everybody was looking at Eric Bieniemy like, yo, they had Eric Bieniemy in the office for 8 hours. I'm like, what can you possibly talk to a human being about for 8 hours straight? Like, I mean,
man, look.
what was
That's
this?
wild.
A
If you be
rendezvous?
if you had an interview for like 8 hours, that's like having an 8 hour sleep at night.
I mean,
8 hours?
they could bring him on as a new offensive coordinator. We don't know. I mean, it's a
Right.
Why would he want to do
possibility.
that? But why would he want to leave the Chiefs that's a bona fide Super Bowl candidate for the Saints and he's already that? That don't make any sense unless they pay him more money.
I'm just trying to be
And
optimistic.
you know the
about
Saints
how-
ain't paying.
I'm just trying
you
to
know the
make
Saints-
sense of the whole situation. Right? Don't
You know-
cook me for it.
I ain't cooking for it. Not you. This not going against you. I'm just saying in general. Like the Saints ain't paying no money, so he's not going. He wanted to. What he interviewed for? HC, not OC.
Yeah.
So I don't. I don't think he gonna come on. I mean, I would love it because look what he doing, Patrick Mahomes. Look at their offense. Even and Patrick Mahomes was struggling this year, and for the first 8 games of the season, and look how much they brought it on. Now think of what he could do with Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara, and Mike Thomas, and company with that guy's knowledge. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
We could be back
You're right.
to the
You're right,
08, 09, 2010, 11, 12 Saints offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's why I'm so
Right.
disappointed. I was looking forward to that high power. We got the defense. We've been always asking for offense. I mean, I'm sorry, we were always asking for defense for years. We got it now. Now we need that offense back. We lost the O. Now we need that O back. I think with Eric Bieniemy, we could have got a boost, like a booster shot.
Yeah.
A booster shot.
Big booster shot of you.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I agree
I'm
with
really
you.
disappointed in that.
I agree with you.
I like Dennis Allen, but I was really looking forward to with his knowledge and his offensive prowess, man. With how he look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
There was
You could argue that.
possession away from a Super Bowl. Again, 3 years in 5 years. There was a possession away.
You could also argue that they just have more talent at the skill positions than the Saints. All the Saints need to do is just make sure they get more talented skill position players in the locker room.
No, not really, because I would interchange. I used to interchange Mike Thomas for what's the guy? What's the guy? The speedster. What's his name? I'm having a blank right now. The guy.
Who you talking about?
For the Chiefs.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. You can interchange Mike Thomas for Tyreek Hill in production. He's faster, but I'm saying in production wise. Okay, they got Travis Kelce. Okay, so you got one tight. They got one up on us on tight end. That's it. All they production is Tyreek Hill and Mahomes.
What's some call Harmon and Byron Pringle sprinkled in?
Yeah, they in there, but I mean that's interchangeable. So that's what I'm saying. So if he would have came over to us, that would have made up for that, and he would probably brought some players in.
I mean, it's hard to say that because when I'm looking at the Chiefs, like when I'm looking at the Chiefs, right, and their skill position players and the support outside of Kelce and outside of Tyreek Hill. Okay, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, let's say they're equal, right? And let's say for the sake of and production, and for the sake of argument, let's say that Travis Kelce and Adam Troutman, hold on, for the sake of argument that they are. Oh, hold on, I'm saying for the sake of argument. Hold on now. I know what that look is. And trust me, I know. I've been cooking Adam Troutman all season 2. I've been cooking him just as much as y'all have. Let's say for the sake of argument, right? for the sake of argument, the Saints have production from Michael Thomas and Adam Chalman, and those both skill positions. Let's look at the complementary players, right? Then they're vastly different. Okay, McCall Hardman, you could probably argue Deontay Harris, but McCall Hardman is not only taller, he's arguably faster. He runs a more complete route tree than Deontay Harris right now. Byron Pringle is much more productive than Traquan Smith. And this Saints offense is predominantly based on undrafted free agents or undrafted rookies. Whereas the Chiefs, they have arguably third rounders, fourth rounders in there that already have talent going into that offense. That really opens up more things already. So it's really not fair to compare the two because offense for the Saints is trash.
My comparison would be, well, my rebuttal would be, every time a new potential players from his previous team, guys that love him, that worked hard for him, that got his back, that he had their back, he'll bring them in. So we could have probably brought Pringle, not Kelsey. We could have probably brought the support in, or in the draft, or in free agency. I just feel like with that change up in head coach, man, I think he would have came in as a good head coach and brought some offensive prowess along with his knowledge to the Saints, what we're used to.
I can respect that opinion. I can respect that.
Yeah.
Looks like Big Nick Underhill believes he's ready. So even though it remains to be seen that that's the case, but if Nick approves of it, then shit, let's ride. Fuck it.
I mean, I'll give Allen a chance, but man, I don't know.
I'm keeping my expectations low because you just never know. You just never know. I'm keeping my expectations low.
Definitely.
If he can hit on his draft this year, then maybe my expectations will rise a little bit. But he has to hit on a draft in the offseason for me to really sell in.
Well, what are our draft? What is our draft pick? I mean, what are we sitting at?
Well, sitting at number 18 in round 1.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hard. That's like pulling a Shannon Sharp, and that's a Hall of Famer. That's like pulling Shannon Sharp out of the woodworks. Like that's gonna be hard to get somebody formidable. It's not impossible, but
I would want them to be
18th. I don't know.
Yeah, 18th
in the first round.
First round. I would want to either go
possible.
quarterback or defensive
possible.
line.
Man, I think we should bring Jameis Winston back. Forget about the quarterback there, man. Because
believe me, I'm Team Jameis all the way.
What quarterback?
I'm all Team Jameis.
What quarterback is going to come as a rookie that's going to outperform Jameis Winston in this coming season? So I feel like we should wait for a quarterback to next year and see how this Jameis Winston thing unfolds.
Let's hope he wants to come back because it was Drew Brees and Sean Payton that attracted him here in the first place, and now both are out the building. Now he immersed himself in the culture in the city.
Yeah, so I think
if he still wants to come back for that, then by all means, let's fucking ride. I'm for it. If they can't get Jameis that I wanted to get either Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett in the draft, either. So
it don't matter
or
to me.
defensive lineman.
It really don't matter to me.
If he doesn't come back, what is his other options?
You got Pittsburgh for sure. You got Pittsburgh. You got Washington. You got the Washington Commanders. Cringe ass name, by the way. I don't know what the hell Dan Snyder was thinking about.
Yeah, I live
got
in
nothing.
I live in the DMV area. Yeah, it's a weird
name.
I'm from New Orleans.
Yeah, almost 2 whole years to come up with a name, and you come up with the most stale ass name that rips off the Canadian football league.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
I
live up here too, so yeah, it's weird.
Well, that means you're accustomed to that then.
I would have gone with Red Tails or Red Wolves.
I'm from New Orleans. I'm here. I'm a veteran. So I moved up here to 2010, and I just stayed. I'm from the South, so I'm from New Orleans originally, but I live in the Washington D.C. area, so yeah, that's a weird name. I thought the football team was a weird name, but that's even worse. They should just stay with the football team. Yeah,
like I said, you got Washington, you've got Pittsburgh. Let's see, I'm not sure about. I would say probably Eagles, but I think they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts. You've got Tampa.
Are those story franchises going to take a chance on a guy who just had an ACL, MCL injury.
I know Pittsburgh would because they stuck with Ben Roethlisberger for so long.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
You got a point. You got a point. But I don't. But James Winston from the South, he like playing in the heat. You think he want to go to Pittsburgh?
If the money, if money talks, I mean, at some point, Jameis is going to want to get his bag, and I don't blame him for it. Someone's going to have to take a chance, and he's going to have to bet on himself. At some point, you can't keep going on 1 year or 2 year deals. You're going to want a secure future with some franchise because he's still a very talented quarterback. And even though he played in a limited number of snaps, he showed that he can be a quarterback that you can win with.
He didn't get his bag in Tampa Bay.
No,
number one draft. Well, he was a number one draft, right?
It don't matter because when he went to Tampa in 2015, he was put in the worst situations possible. Three different head coaches, abysmal defense.
But what I'm saying is that he get paid as being a number one draft.
Mm.
Did he get his bag then?
I don't know. I mean, you could argue that. I'm talking about his next.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm asking the question. I don't know. I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. But fellas,
I'm about to say it's hard to say for me because, even though you're a number one draft pick, I don't know if you got paid per se. It's like getting paid. Like when I look at getting paid, I look at that as what you do after your rookie deal.
No, but like number one draft as a quarterback, I thought like most number one drafts as a quarterback get paid. Number one?
That's like 4 years. Yeah, it's like a 4-year deal. That was like a long time ago.
I don't know. I'm just asking. I assume that he might have because he's a number one draft pick and he's a quarterback. The pick and the position. I was assuming that maybe he did get his bag with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I was talking about after that. Like after that, he sat out for a year and then he took another 1-year deal to be with the Saints. And at this point, he's not getting any younger. I think he showed in those sample of games that he can win under less than favorable circumstances with skill position players as the supporting cast.
Well, with that said, I don't think he deserves a bag because he has to do something first.
Fair.
He deserves a formidable, offer, but I don't think he deserves a bag because he hasn't proven a bag yet.
Okay, I agree with that.
And then he's a black quarterback at that. So, he already got the odds against him. So, I don't think he deserves a number one bag until he has a full season that he's proven himself. Because, right now, to be forever and beyond, he got this 30 and 30 looming over his head. Even though
Fair
I
enough.
think he killed it. I think he killed that this season with the 8-9 starts he had this year. We were 5-2. And what
Fair enough.
13-3 with the interception, touchdown interception ratio. What was he like? 13-3, something like that.
I think it was 14-3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he needs to play another full season and do a great job, and then we'll worry about the bag. Then I think he should right now worry about being in a good franchise and learning the system.
So long as you come back to the black and gold, that's all I care about, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want my boy back in the black and gold for real.
Me too.
But that's it. That's all. I got to go get dinner ready. So, Justin Wallace, my boy, Jerry, OG, thank y'all so much. Y'all are the best. I will be back next time when I get more information on Alvin Kamara, probably sometime around March. If not, something comes up beforehand. Make sure you guys check out my community tab because that's where I'm going to post most of my recent information. Jerry, you already know that. Justin, you're probably new here, so you probably don't know the ins and outs.
I'm not new.
You ain't new? This is your first time.
Oh yeah,
here.
you got some good stuff out on the community page.
From TJ, the Think Saint Pot.
Okay. So you from the Goats channel. You from the Goats channel, okay?
Aaron,
TJ.
Before you end this, I did check out that short you did a week ago after Tom Brady retired. I looked at it, bro. I couldn't stop laughing about it, man. That was funny. And Justin, when you get a chance, check out his short, man. You know,
Look, I
it was after
post mini
Tom Brady
shorts.
retired, and it was the Buccaneers fans' reaction. You're gonna
I'll
love
put
it,
that.
man.
I'll
You're
put
gonna
that
love it.
video in. I'll put that video link in the comment section after
Yeah,
this.
put it in the
Do
After this
comments.
that.
I'm
is
gonna
over.
check it out.
Do that.
I'm
'Cause
checking it out.
Look, I post
that was
shorts in
epic.
between my live streams. I post shorts in between my live streams to keep you guys entertained and coming back and make sure you guys have something for your day. That's what I do over on TikTok sometimes. So I'll put that in the comments after this video. But right now, I got to go get dinner started, and then I'll post it after.
Do
But
that.
thank you guys very much for coming in. You guys are
Thank
always
you.
welcome here. Always welcome here to comment. Always welcome
Do
to
that.
call in. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe. Stay
You too,
healthy.
man.
And
Do that.
God bless y'all.
And shout out to Grandma too, man. Give her
Yeah,
our
shout
love,
out to
man.
grandma.
Oh yeah. Oh, she loves y'all. She
Who
loves
No
that?
doubt.
y'all, especially coming in with the bell. She loves y'all. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
I gotta go.
All
All
right,
right, who
peace.
that?
Who that? Yeah, that's my boys right there, man. Look, I appreciate everybody coming in. We were here longer than expected, but I'm honestly happy with that. Time flies by when you're having fun talking football with your fellow peers. With all that being said, it's officially time to get up out of here. Like I said, I got to prepare dinner, and then I got to post that video down in the comment section for my boys. Until next time, if my next projected live stream will be March 8th after Kamara's initial court date, if not sooner, if we get some other news regarding the Saints. But I will see you guys next time. And as always, if you guys don't know, you will know. Over here, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. I'll check you guys out next time.